Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Tuesday, November 22nd, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be going over a recap of yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for tonight's slate. It is a 4-game main slate overall, and then talking about my core picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel for tonight's slate overall. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. This was the updated core. I did release it a little after 6 o'clock. Kind of got in that dead service zone between 5:30 and 6 yesterday, so I was not able to update before then. But the plays that I did have didn't change too much overall. Jalen Suggs was in there early on for the FanDuel side. He wasn't bad by any means, just wasn't quite what we were looking for, but still wasn't a bad play either way. But on the DraftKings side, we had point guard Anthony Simons, $7,400, looking for 37 points on him, got to 44.5, so he was a really good hit yesterday. Then in shooting guard, we had Jordan Poole. He looked really good with the typical Warriors starters not playing yesterday. He was $5,800, looking for 29 points on him. He got to exactly 29, so he was a hit. Unfortunately, this game ended up being a blowout, and he only played 27 minutes, and most of his production did come from scoring, so that kind of limited him a little bit overall. Then small forward, we had Quentin Grimes, $3,000, looking for 15 points on him, got to 19.25, so he was a hit as well. Then at power forward, probably one of the most popular players on the entire day was Jonathan Kuminga at $3,300. Looking for 17 points on him, got to 31.25, so he was a really good hit. And then last but not least, we had Bam Adebayo at $8,000. Looking for 40 points on him, got to 47, so he was a hit as well. So 5 for 5 on the DraftKings side. If you had some other decent plays alongside this core, you cashed rather easily. And if you had some really good plays, you did really well yesterday overall. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Jordan Poole at point guard, $6,600 over there. Was looking for like 33 points on, got 28, so technically he was a miss. Played only 27 minutes, mainly scored the ball, and that game was a blowout, so that was just a little unfortunate there, but a lot of people were on him overall yesterday. Then at shooting guard, we had Quentin Grimes, once again, $3,500, looking for 17, 18 points on, got to 20.5, so he was a hit. Small forward, we had Jonathan Kuminga at $4,000, looking for 20 points on, got to 30.6, so he was a hit as well. And then we moved down to power forward with Jerome Robinson-Earl, a guy that looked pretty good early on in the day. Unfortunately, some other guys ended up back in the mix for Oklahoma City yesterday. Baisley was able to play. Trey Mann, Isaiah Joe, and they called up, I can't remember the guy's name from the G League, but it's very hard to pronounce the name overall. So he only ended up playing 22 minutes. Kind of unfortunate there. Only got 12.4 points. Not a lot of rebounds or blocks or anything else like that. So just not a really good day for him overall. That was kind of the one miss that really did hurt yesterday overall. And then at center, we had Bam Adebayo at $8,300. Looking for 41, 42 points. Got to 46.3. So he was a hit on FanDuel as well. So 3 out of 5 on the FanDuel side. Not quite as good a day as the DraftKings side, but if you had some other decent plays alongside these 5, you still had a pretty good chance of cashing overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries in play for tonight's slate. So once again, it is a 4-game slate. We're starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. The first game that we do have is the Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers. The Brooklyn Nets are just without TJ Warren. But for the 76ers side, this is a very different team than we're used to seeing. Joel Embiid is out for at least 2 games with a midfoot sprain. Likely going to be out longer than that, but that's just kind of the report that's out at this point in time. James Harden is still out. He's probably going to be out for a week or 2 more. Tyrese Maxey is out for probably a month at this point in time. Then we have Jaden Springer out as well, who doesn't really factor into the rotation too much. But without some of these guys, maybe he would have got a little bit of playing time overall. Then we have Furkan Korkmaz and Tobias Harris, both listed as game time decisions, but both expected to play in this game. Could be a lot of value on the 76ers team. Some of these guys are already getting priced out, especially DeAnthony Melton, but Shake Milton, DeAnthony Melton, Tobias Harris, they're all going to look pretty good tonight overall. Then we move over to Sacramento Kings, who are all the way healthy at this point in time. The Memphis Grizzlies are without Desmond Bane, Danny Green, Zaire Williams, and John Morant is also listed as doubtful to play. So pretty similar to their last game out. Tyus Jones could be a little bit of a value, but he's still pretty priced up on both sides overall, so maybe just a little bit more of a fair value than anything. Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson, both coming off big games as well. Then we move over to the Pistons, who are without Sadiq Bey for a couple games now. Cade Cunningham remains out, as well as Isaiah Stewart. So there could be a little bit of value on this team overall. Bogdan Bogdanovic is going to look pretty good on both sides. If you want to chase like an Isaiah Livers or Kevin Knox, you could do that as value plays today. And then if you want to chase one of the center options with Marvin Bagley or Jalen Duran, you can definitely do that as well. For the Denver Nuggets, they are without Colin Gillespie and Jeff Green once again. Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, both listed as doubtful to play, both still kind of dealing with the COVID protocol. Then we have Aaron Gordon, who's questionable to play, missed a few games with a non-COVID related illness. Ish Smith is listed as questionable as well. If he comes back and plays, that could change things up a little bit. Bones Highland is listed as a game time decision, but expected to play tonight. So it could be a little bit of value on this Nuggets team overall, but just kind of have to see how it looks as the day moves along. Then last but not least, we move down to the Lakers and the Suns. And for the Lakers, Max Christie's out once again. Juan Toscano Anderson's listed as questionable, as well as LeBron James. And then Anthony Davis listed as probable at this point in time. We'll see if LeBron and Anthony Davis both end up playing once again tonight. Then for the Phoenix Suns, we got Jay Crowder, Cam Johnson, Chris Paul, and Landry Shamet all out once again. So no real changes here. Obviously, the news of Chris Paul being out early on in the day is something that we don't have to look forward to later on in the day. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's games. Obviously, we got ones like LeBron James and Aaron Gordon there, probably going to be the biggest ones that we're watching. But if anything else does change throughout the day, I'll leave it down in the comments as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks over there. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Shake Milton. He is $5,300. You're looking for 26, 27 points out. Only averaging 12.5 so far on the season, but early on in the season, this guy was not playing much. When he's had the opportunities in the past in his career, he's usually done pretty well, gets a decent amount of points, usage, and everything like that. A very good offensive weapon. Kind of a liability on the defensive end, but we saw him get big minutes last time out, played rather well. Currently having projected for 29 points tonight. Could offer a little bit of upside for more as well. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go with Devin Booker. He's $9,300. Looking for 46, 47 points on. That's essentially what he's averaging on the season so far. Currently having projected for 48 points tonight. We've seen him have upside for more, especially in these games without Chris Paul as well. Then in small forward, we got Tobias Harris, who's coming off a little bit of a hip injury that caused him to miss 2 games, but coming back, stepping in a big role with no Joel Embiid, no Tyrese Maxey, no James Harden. He's kind of the best player they have left, and he should demand quite a bit of usage once again. If he's able to play big minutes, he's going to be very good in the spot, looking for 39 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 40 to 41. Definitely has some upside for more. Also, some chance that he fails tonight, too, as well, especially if his hip's still kind of bothering him. Maybe he's on a minutes limit, but just something we'll have to monitor throughout the day as well. Then at power forward, we're going to go with Keegan Murray. He's only $4,400. We're looking for 22 points out. He's averaging just over 21.5 on the season so far. We've seen some really, really good games from him. We've seen some pretty bad games from him as well. The good news is he's playing big minutes. Currently, I'm projected for 23 points tonight. Could offer some upside for more as well. Then last but not least, at the center position, we have Jalen Duren. For the Detroit Pistons, may or may not start in this game. Maybe they get to a point in their lineup where they're starting Jalen Duren and Marvin Bagley together. Not sure they're going to do that versus Denver, but if Aaron Gordon starts, it's a possibility. But at the same time, Jalen Duren, even if he's coming off the bench, if he gets to 22, 23 minutes, he can still pay off at this price tag where we're only looking for 20 to 21 points out of him. If he gets more minutes than that, going to look pretty good as well. Currently, I'm projected for 23 points tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $19,100 remaining, just under $6,400 per player. So maybe you have to get a little bit creative on tonight's slate, but there should be a decent amount of value out there. So you should probably be able to play up for one other player as well as Devin Booker. But if you want to take a little bit more balanced build, that's definitely something that could work on tonight's slate as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So I'm going to start off by saying the FanDuel pricing is way, way tighter. It's not quite as favorable tonight as DraftKings. Some of these players are very overpriced. But we're going to start off with the point guard position. We got Shake Milton once again, $5,800. Everything I said on DraftKings still applies. He should be in that starting lineup, should be that main point guard for them tonight. It might be him and DeAnthony Melton kind of sharing some duties there. A lot of ball handling for Tobias Harris as well, some dribble handoff, stuff like that. But Shake Milton, when he has gotten the opportunities in the past, he's definitely paid off on it. We're looking for 29 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 29 tonight as well. Move down to shooting guard with Campaign. He is $6,800. Looking for 34 points out. He's played very well in the absence of Chris Paul. He's been playing big minutes. And I currently am projected for 35 points tonight. Should be a pretty favorable matchup against the Lakers as well. Then at small forward, this is the position I don't like quite as much on FanDuel today. I got Kevin Huerter here. He's $5,900. Technically, we're looking for 29, 30 points on him. He's averaging about 28 on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 28 tonight. If you want to shoot for some upside plays at small forward, you can definitely do that. But small forward, power forward on FanDuel is a little bit tighter today overall. Maybe you slip into Tobias Harris here. But I do like Bojan Bogdanovic, my next guy, quite a bit. He's $5,800. We're looking for 29 points on him. averaging just over 27.5 on the season. Been playing extremely well since Cade Cunningham's not been around. Been one of the main scorers for that Detroit team. Obviously, they're missing even more pieces at this point in time. So expect another good game out of him. Currently, I'm projected for 31 to 32 points tonight. Then last but not least, at the center position, we have Steven Adams, $5,300. He's another guy that's been a little bit more volatile as of late. We're looking for 26, 27 points out of him. If his minutes are there, he's definitely going to pay off at that price tag. Center position on FanDuel is not attractive by any means tonight. A lot of guys that are overpriced. Steven Adams looks like the best one overall in terms of price for his points. Currently, I'm projected for 27 points tonight. Going against the Kings, it could be an interesting matchup going against Domantas Sabonis, but not one that I'm too afraid of overall as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $30,400 remaining, $7,600 per player. So a good amount of money, whether you want to pay up for a couple players, pay down for a couple players, or if you want to make a little bit more balanced approach overall. Definitely a lot of ways to approach this 4-game slate, and we'll have to see if there's any other value that does open up throughout the day as well. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, November 22nd. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings. Heck, when you ask your questions, please note whether it's for FanDuel or DraftKings as well so I can best help you as possible. And then, as always, I'll be listing all the injury updates throughout the day. Try to get to as many starting lineups as I can tonight. I know last night was a little bit more hectic in regards to that. And then if there is any updates to my core, I will try to get that out about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock or as those changes do become available. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, which is one that's truly for the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now we got NBA DFS and NFL DFS. I know the live streams have been kind of on halt for NFL DFS, but hoping to get those kicked back up next week, obviously since Thursday is Thanksgiving. And then with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post a video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily NBA DFS Core Pick videos Monday through Friday. Got some NFL content coming out on the regular as well. I know it's been a little bit backtracked over the last week or so, but when we get over to next week, should be back on track as well. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.